Yeah, once again, welcome back to Farmland Flats as we start to grow here. Yeah, there's a little bit of an overview. I think it's looking reasonable. There's obviously a lot still to do. What I'm going to be trying to do today is get up to the next level so we can start putting in a little bit of detailing. However, before we can do that, we have a problem. Crime. What we need is Judge Dredd. We haven't got him, so what we haven't got anywhere is any police at all. So I'm going to need to put in a police station somewhere. Let's have a little look. What can we do? I want the British-looking ones. Don't have the money for either of them yet. How big are they? Which is probably the next question. Yeah, reasonable size. We put a police station over here somewhere, or do we put it a little bit more over here, near where we've got the fire station? I think it's going to be going in over here somewhere. Possibly there. Need a bit more money, so what I'm going to do is just hit fast forward for a little bit until we build a bit of cash up, and just put up with the fact the crime rate is quite high. So far, only one building's complaining. Actually, thinking about this. Can we? We'll do it the easy way. Just take a loan. It's true mentality here. We're going to go in. Going to put a police station there on the corner, and then let's have a little look. What can we send out from there? I've got a range of UK themed vehicles here, so I think I'm going to put those in. It'll send out those. So a bunch of cars have left, so let's have a little look, see what we got. Yeah, looks alright. So they'll go out and hopefully go and catch all the criminals in the community and give them a stern talking to and send them some letters or something. So there we go. Right, other job. We still need more population. How many more do we need? So yeah, about another 400 odd. Going to need some more space. Going to need to put somewhere else in. We were going to focus over here a little bit, just a little something around this area, I feel. So we've got a bit of money, so I will do that. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, so there we are. This will do as just a little starting point. Commercial isn't going to come in for a while. It's not really needed. Housing cluster. Don't really want it to go huge over here. I'm going to put a little bit more back here than just a very little bit around this side, and this inner side edge I'm probably going to leave open. Put some parkland or something around here eventually, I suppose. So. But I put in some slightly larger houses. Should probably put a district of some description in here. So let's have a little area. Should probably have done that first. Actually, I could have set a nice style on there. I'm going to set the style anyway. Let's go in and say British UK style. That'll do. That gets rid of some of the properties and it'll bring some others in. As I've noted before, what this won't do is zone in these smaller properties. So I may have to come in and do some of those manually in a minute, but we'll see. There's no school here. There is a school over here. This may not... Yes, some of the others they're coming in. They're despawning because they're the wrong sort of houses. Could probably use a little village school, maybe over here somewhere, or back up here a little bit. Yeah, so some space back up here. We can put a little school in. Turn the road guidelines off, because while they are very useful at times, they're also extremely annoying at other times. So run that across there. And across there a little bit more. One of those in there. This one can just come up and do that. Possibly that as well. That gives you some space for some other bits and pieces up here. Let's that one in there and that. There. Robin Heights. That'll do. Better than Robin Wood, I suppose. Right, the electricity hasn't bridged, which oh, it's because something's yes, I despawned a house, therefore the electricity has yet to bridge. So what I'm going to do is cheat. I'll just manually bridge that in. There we go. That'll keep everybody there a little bit happier. See what we're starting to get. Now that I do like. Yep, that's exactly the sort of thing I want on the corners. It is coming in quite nicely, so let's do a little bit more up here. Again, I'm going to keep with some of the slightly larger style of housing. And maybe this is just look like it's a slightly better off area than the main bits. We'll have a few areas of cheaper housing, but we'll keep the rest of it going with reasonable sizes, I think. Yeah, let more people move in. As I say, the aim here is to get to the ability to start putting a bit of decoration on things, which I think will start to look quite good. There's some big houses along the back. Let's put these in and see what we get. Like I say, around here is a school, but the money for that isn't here just yet. So this road going out here, put a few more houses on. Doesn't have to be many. That'll do. Something on the corner there. Now these ones here, what I need to do is go UK, and I want housing, and then I'm going to set this. This is Find It. This is another wonderful little mod. So what I'm here is I'm looking at UK terraces, and what I need them to be is level 1. Because if I put level 2s in or higher, there's a fairly good chance they will despawn. All my 3s. Interesting. Set this 1 by 2 and it'll just show me the ones I want. There we go. Level 1, that'll do. So I'll put that there, 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 there. And because I can just drop these in manually, I can put them in wherever I want. So that's that. Go back in and just set the zoning. Right, there we are. We have a couple of little streets. They're a bit basic. Obviously you zone them in as all the same. They are all the same. What tends to happen then is you can zone in some upgradable bits, and then when they upgrade to be something slightly different usually. So again, here we've got lots of these because these are the main ones. I don't have the money for the school yet. A little bit more industrial demand. Right, now this is something I noticed. We're starting to get rush hour traffic around here. It's not too bad. I mean, this road can cope. It's but it will start to get a little bit worse eventually. So what we'll probably end up doing. The thing is, I don't want another access point further. Anything that's trying to get in and out of the city will use this side anyway. Even if there's another road up here, it won't use it. They'll just come round. So I may as well carry on over here. In terms of zoning, do still have a little bit more available to me. Yeah, but I'm going to build out again. If I put the road guidelines back on now, and what I want is that gap. Because again, I want the continued spacing. I'll bring that over there, that go there, there, and like that. And that will be the full size of this industrial zone. I won't be making this any larger. Yeah, it's covered nicely already. So what we're going to do, come in here and zone in a little bit more. Not too much more, like I say, we're not actually using all we've got here yet, but that just means as any demand crops up, we can deal with it. We are now getting close. Yeah, it's about another 250 needed as night falls. And how's the police car doing here? Ooh, got a fair few criminals. Crime rate overall, how are we looking? 5%. So yeah, they're dealing with criminals, and they will come out here and deal with them all the way over here as well. Citizens over here obviously don't get happy because there isn't a police station near them. Might have to do something about that eventually. I don't want to spam too many of these service buildings quite this early on. In a while. But, so, we shall leave this for a second. I shall let this run at the highest speed. I'll be back momentarily. Yeah, so here we are back. There we go. And there we have. Hey, Tony Town. We have another problem as well to deal with. I need to put more power generation in. So, what does this give us? Parks, which are useful. Industry areas, these are the zonable bits. Pedestrian areas, and yeah, landscaping is the important one. This is where we get a lot of the fancy stuff we can play around with. So parks and plazas, we can start dropping some parks. Fishing industry, yeah, I can't say we're going to be using that too much. Football buildings, I think that gives us a stadium, which might be quite useful. Policies we can start playing around with. Lots and lots and lots of new roads, canals, fences, which I'm looking forward to. All of this good stuff here. Lots and lots of things we need. So we'll hit pause. We also get some money to spend. However, the first thing I need to do is look at electricity. Now here we have a shortfall. So we can go into the budget, and I've actually upped that to 100% already. Now I could up that a little bit more, but the city's growing, so we are going to need more. So what I'm going to do is drop in another power station. And when things start, that will deal with that. The next population milestone is a way off, so we're not going to hit that one for a while. So what I'm going to do instead, and we do have more housing demand, I'm going to have to set up another area. But now we can start looking at what we've got and what we need around these areas here. In terms of accessibility, so I'm looking to pathways. We have a choice. We've got a paved path or an unpaved path. Now, these are a lot cheaper, the unpaved paths. They don't look as nice, but frankly that seems to be the only difference. So we're going to put a few paths in up there, path there, yeah, turn anarchy on is the easiest way of doing that, and then lo and behold I can put a path in there. And this is just about letting people have a few more ways around on foot. The citizens in this game will walk a surprising distance. I mean, not they won't walk everywhere, but they will walk a lot further than you might think. So we can just put a few paths in around there. That'll help. Over here, I was going to put a school over here, which will help people in this area here level up a bit. Let's have a little look at doing that. Don't really have anything else I need to start building yet. We'll go for the little village school thing again. And that way. That way means I've got space for a little park next to it. And for some reason, some of these properties here are not zoning in. Now I suspect this is, again, just some little issue, but I'm going to have a little look and see what I've got in terms of 2x3 British houses, and we'll see whether we've got any level 1s. We have UK detached. I'll drop these in and they hopefully will stay there. They're zoning out again. Right, the reason they're zoning out is because that is not part of that section. So I need to go into here. This is where you can fix things. So British style, level 1 houses, size, don't know quite how I can do with that, but anyway, display all, yeah. So what we're now going to do is go into here and go UK, and this is giving, let's have a little look. UK, so it's decided not to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding all these in here. If I go none and then just show houses to start with. And we'll add all of those in, I think. And hopefully things will now be able to spawn in here a little bit more easily. Yes, some properties are starting to come in. It's just something to watch out for again when you're using styles. The district style editor is well worth having. But now we can start looking at some other bits and pieces. So here we have a small playground. So let's put that in, make people around there happy. Then I've got some leisure. It's next to the school, which sort of makes a level of sense. I was going to do exactly the same thing there. That'll do. And that's cheap enough. I can come over here and do the one next to the school over here as well. So see, I'm going to put that there, which again will please people. So drop out of this, and what we now can look into is this one, which is leisure. And see, people don't have much access. There's a little bit around that. Little bit around here. See, the houses aren't quite red. They've gone a slightly different colour. So this is where we know we need a bit more leisure. So come in, parks. On here you can see this one here adds 100 entertainment. There is a radius which people will access it. And we do have a few others. There's a small park which is a reasonable size, which will again make people quite happy. Did say that was where I was going to put the cemetery, didn't I? Okay, so what I'm going to do is move it that one, and I'm going to bring this over here and rotate that way, and let's have a little look. Where are we here? Like that. Yeah, we'll put that there. And this one is nice. This one has the ability, when I can find the path, as some of these do, to come in here and you can extend off it. So people can now get into this park from down here. Yes, that pathway is in, even if it's not showing brilliantly. And there we've got, and the space up there for something else. But that will help. Look at this land value. This is the key bit. Ideally, you want everything to be green. That's picked up because there's a medical centre, there's a school, there's some other bits and pieces. The park helps quite considerably. So let's see what else we can do. Go back to parks. I was going to put one of these larger parks over here as well somewhere. Possibly in here. They don't quite fit brilliantly. I mean, What I'd like there is some sort of little sports ground, so let's see what we can find. Is there anything in there that we could have? Content creator. Let's have a look. Shopping, don't want shopping. Sports venues. Pretty much kiboshes that. We can't afford any of them anyway. However, you can start looking. Community cricket pitch, way too big. No, that won't fit though. Yeah, when we get the money, I think that's going to go in there. We'll have a little village over here. We'll get a cricket ground. Right. People. Where else are we going to put some people? We've got a little Robin Heights there. I did say about doing something down here. The one thing I haven't done yet is what you could refer to as a sort of a modern housing estate. One of these god-awful estates. Possibly around there, possibly up here. Let's do a modern, horrible housing estate. So I'm going to put an area in for this. It's going to be along here. Like that. Up to those trees. Pleasant Heights. Yeah, that's the sort of name these places have. So what we're going to do is a road in like that. Like that. Just check that's roughly within the area. Yeah, I can make the road a little bit larger. I'm going to make the roads a little bit longer. Like so. And then everything's going to key off this and off here. So we're going to put some houses. Now, I know roughly where I'm thinking of for this. There is there's an estate built up near Abingdon where I've got some relatives. And I'm thinking something similar to that. So what I need is a little road along there, which will house not houses but parks and similar. Yeah, I'm going to go with the size 3 houses, so I can do that. That can run out there. Drop that in there. Now, obviously, this is all going to need water, which I'm going to run out of money before I can do again. Although I'll be able to do some of it. Yes, so that'll have to wait. I'll carry on drawing out some of the road frames. So yeah, parks, houses, more houses, more houses, facing onto all of this. Carry on to that. Do some different sized houses here. Here. Leave space. We might put a school in over here. I probably won't. This is not going to be a hugely high density housing area. This is going to be slightly larger houses. The aim being I want a slightly posher area where hopefully a few more people will come to stay. And in order to do this, I'm going to grab the big loan because I'm impatient. So here we go. Come along there, I'll do that like so. And we'll do that. Water, or water, depending on which part of the country you're from. Go over there. Annoyingly, it won't quite reach where I want it to be, so I'm going to put more piping in than I would strictly speaking like, but I'm not too bothered by this. So that's there, that's housing, or water rather. Power will come in using the same British style power lines. I'll bring them there, and what I'm going to do now is start building the housing at this end so that it bridges in. And going to go with mix of sizes, some smaller and some slightly larger. I want to keep the gap between them. Eventually what I want to do is put some pathways and stuff in here. So we can go. So I shall actually start adding a few of those now, because frankly, why not? Again, I'm going to stick with the little rustic style ones because I think they look a bit better. They're also cheaper by quite a way. I'll do that there, and then of that, and just put that in there. Basically, I want people to be able to walk pretty much along this entire area, so we shall do that. You've been on the sort of 1980s style housing estates. You get a lot of pathways knocking around, and just a lot of dead end roads. So that's what we're doing here. Put some more of the smaller ones in here. Houses won't front onto the paths, which is a bit unfortunate. Really, be nice if they did. Yeah, get some larger ones in there. And again, we're going to do the little 3x1s that in there. And now, because I can, let's try and make this look a little bit nicer. So come in here. Various fences we've got. Zoo fence seems vaguely appropriate. I like the forestry fence. It's the forestry fence or the park fence for this. Which is a bit railing-y type. Amusement park, nah. That sort of park fence, no. So it's going to be forestry. And let's see, get rid of all that. What we're going to do, because if you've seen this sort of estate, what is quite common is it's fenced on the front. So we will do that. I'm going to go to there with that one. And just do this a little bit here. I'm not actually going to do anything else along this front strip. Might have another little pathway come in there. Do that. And then these corners. Oh. Come down like that. In there. Not much, just adds a little bit of interest to it on the edge of the road. Right, as we said, we're going to have some parks in here. This bit, not sure I want to put a school in here. Shops, possibly a little medical centre. Let's do that. Let's have medical centre. I'm going to put what I find quite useful when I can find them. A little bit of parking alongside that. Main reason for the little bit of parking, it is a park, it does cheer people up slightly. But we are going to put some more nicer ones in over here. Big one like that. Put it there. Reason for sticking it in there is I may end up... So let's turn these back on, except road guidelines. I may put more parking and other bits and pieces in this side. But by putting that there, this will help with the land value, which is the whole point behind doing it. And we put some more of these bigger houses in over here. Again, these aren't massively high density in terms of population. And if we have a look at this here, this is under construction, let's find one that isn't. That one there. Still only holds a single household. It can hold a few more people, but it's only ever going to be one household. So that's basically not going to hold many more people than these little houses here, which hold a single household. They can hold two. I mean, you get families in them as well. So yeah. Let's see, a little Pleasant Heights, our little estate. Do you want to make this British style as well? I will leave it for now. I could put styles on some of these. I've got all the various content creator packs. Well, not all, but nearly all. But we shall add more of that sort of thing later. Let's put another couple of big houses in here. There's one of these wonderful mass build estates where there's an awful lot of identikit rabbit hutches go up. Yeah, I've lived on this sort of estate. I don't recommend it. They are unbelievably soulless places. We shall put some more of these in here. We'll leave some space here. We can have some space for a bit more of a park. And then I think most of these places, they have what sort of jokingly gets referred to as affordable housing. Foisted onto them by the local planning people who won't give authority to build the place if they're not included. So we are going to include some smaller housing here on the end. It's not going to grow up for a while, but I'm going to include put a couple of local shops in as well. I'm probably not going to say they won't grow for a while, but that's not a huge problem. Do that, and then down here we'll have, this is the cheap end of the estate, and put another pathway in there just to act as a little bit of a separator on there and there. And I think like that. I like that, it's quite nice. Yeah. So Pleasant Heights, as the advertising brochure says, a pleasant place to live. The editor's decision is final on that. If you don't like it, sod off, is how that one works. What else have we got in here that we could put in that might be quite nice? Public toilets. Oh. I've not seen those before. Let's put some of those in there. Yeah, pleasing all the people there who now don't have that particular problem. Football pitch. Yeah, I've not seen this one before. This is a new one I must have got hold of. Football stadium is a little bit much. Football pitch, however, a bit big for there, but over here, yeah, why not? See what that looks like. Happier? Yeah. There we are, a football pitch, which seems to have a whole load of stuff growing through it currently, not entirely sure why. Let's see. I can grab that and go. Lift that up. Yeah, doesn't do anything. I was hoping I would be getting rid of the grassland that seems to be growing through. Oh, never mind. Anyway, we have a football pitch over there as well that people can use. Here we have the delightful little town of little housing estate of Pleasant Heights, which is growing in with all sorts of buildings currently. So yeah, that might get changed eventually, but I think that works. Again, it's not going to give us a huge amount of population. Oh, they end up as the main pylons. I was hoping they'd be the small ones. Okay, there's a way. Oh, you can't. You can't upgrade them. Right. Well, I don't like what they look like, so I'm going to get rid of those. Aesthetics isn't always my thing, but I don't like those power lines. I do quite like these ones, however. So I'm going to bring these down here to there, and then to there. That links everything back in. And looks a bit better. And then this road here, now we've actually got quite a bit of quite a bit of busyness on here. So what I'm actually going to do, thinking about it, picky that one, which is the road we've been using for this sort of area. What I'm going to do is change all of this. This makes the road a little bit more high speed. We're coming out of the town there, so we'll do that. That little bit there has got other things along it, so not doing that there. And we'll just go a little bit past there. I don't need to go any further just yet. See what that looks like. Yeah, you see that looks a bit better. And it's a little bit of grassy area along there, a little stone wall along the edges of it. It'll do. It's not perfect. It'll do. Right, now this football ground, it's just a little park, but it does need, I think it needs something near it. Put some of those in, and where is it? Give it a little car park next to it there. Now what we could do with actually is some more buildings, so let's go in, got them here, props. What have we got in here that we could add? That might be of use, if anything. Ooh, traffic islands. Lots of themed decals, which I'm not entirely sure how to use. Anybody really knows how to use those? Let me know, because I haven't really got a clue. Right, what we're now going to do is go into normal road. And upgrade this bit here into normal road, which is alongside the just a little bit. I'll do that bit as well. Just a little village area, and those roads there. Don't need to do it all. And hit and go, and there we are. Yeah, so we've got a little football stadium. I was going to put that cricket ground over here. Let's come back over to this little area. Underhill District. Do need to find a better name for that. So we need parks, whatever, content creator. That was the one I wanted. One of those. Drop that in. Yeah, okay, it's leveled it a bit. So what I'm going to do, because I now can, which previously I couldn't, go into this. I want soften terrain, get rid of that, brush a little bit bigger, and just do this along here a little. That just levels it out a little bit. It's not massive, but it does a bit. This is connected in at both sides, which is quite nice. And if we now go in here and look at leisure, see, this area is doing alright now. Up here's a bit dull. Well, to be honest, I was going to put a park in up here as well. So what I'm going to do is back to my trusty small playground. Let's put one of those in. And that'll change. You see there, it changes off. People there are now quite a bit happier. Yeah, so that's they're happy. There needs a little bit more work. They're alright. They'll do to start with. What else have we got here? I was going to put some more in here. Like I say, that's going to be a graveyard eventually, so I want to leave that alone. I've got there, small park. The other one's the dog park. It's the same size. Actually causes slightly more entertainment, quite a bit more expensive, but I'm going to put that in as well. It's the area where apparently the trees grow small plastic bags. Don't touch the small plastic bags. That's all I can say to that. And then back here, if there's a space in there, which there is, I'm going to put a car park. Now what I'm then going to do is sort out that path so that it goes alongside it. Right, so what have we got now apart from a lot more housing demand still? We have down here Pleasant Heights has pretty much filled in. What else have we got? Got space at the back. A bit more space at the back here, so I'm going to put in some more of the affordable end housing, like so. And because I can, another road will go in there, and then along here put in some more of the larger expensive houses. Nice ones for people to enjoy backing onto the woods, which my parents had for a few years. Had a nice house backing onto a wood in Derby, and that was indeed quite nice. The ability to look out the back of your house and not see street lights is a pleasure. I did really enjoy that. Nobody's visited there yet, but that's fine. Right, this little area here. Let's have a little bit of a play with some decoration. Let's see what I can do with this. Pavement, gravel. Let's have, again, get rid of that. Bit big. Go a bit smaller, something like that. Yeah, that'll do. Although I do need to clean this off the car park. This is Surface Painter, I think it is, Surface Tool. That needs just removing from in there like that. It actually is that. Is that going to remove? No, it's not going to remove those. No, never mind. Yeah. This area here, no. To be honest, I don't like that. I thought that might work, but it doesn't. Possibly because things aren't completely aligned. I'm going to put some bits in here, though. Why not? So I want a fence, I think, first off. I'm going to stick with the forestry fence, which I quite like. So again, get rid of all of that. What we're going to do is put a bit of a fence around this. Down to there and then off the end of that. Now yes, this is a slightly curved road, so we shall put... Just do that there like that, and that can... Nice and straight there, which won't let me. Come down here and easy way. Get that. So that gives me just a little bit of an area there. And this side, let's just run this. Up there, into there. And that. Yeah. Anyway, that'll do for that in terms of fenced off a bit. What I need to do now, find things to occupy this area here with. I got shed. Oh no, I don't want that. Anything I've got. Ooh, porter cabins. Oh yeah, that'll do. All of these places. Have some sort of little shed buildings knocking about. Let's put one over here as well. Yeah, just a sort of bit. I'm looking to see if they had anything. Anything we could could be classed as a pavilion. We don't appear to have. That was worth a try. Bench. Prison table. I suppose that seems almost appropriate. For whatever reason I can't put that down. Anyway, never mind. Let's have a look in here, see what I've got that might work. Crowd control barriers. Not sure why that brush option thing's popped up. Ah, here we are. A bit of a barrier there. Yeah, I mean, it sort of works. And what we need... is the... yes. Language. I need some football stand, like seating, to see if I can find some at some point. Anyway, that looks a bit better. This estate is coming along. Yeah, that'll do. I mean, it's a bit of a mess, but it'll do as a little bit of an estate. We're doing in terms of happiness for down here. Happiness is all right. Health is, yeah, they've got the health centre. So and over here they've got their little health centre as well. Education, they've got a school, they've got a school. This bit hasn't got a school, but there's a school not too far away. So, yeah, leisure. A few other little bits we could do with. So I think, do we put a park or something over here? I think would be not a bad idea. Let's put this lot back on. And this really is all just land value. The playground in. Land value makes people happier. They're more likely to level up. If we look at the levelling up here, see the slightly darker houses are level 2. Which is fairly good. See, a lot down here have levelled up already. Level 2 houses pay more tax. So, yes. Most of the commercials levelled up, which is quite nice to see. And same with over here. A lot of people have levelled up. Not everybody, but quite a lot. So, that's that. The main demand now we've got is, again, more housing. Lots and lots of people want to move in. I think what I'm going to end up with is another fairly high density piece. Probably down here somewhere. So let's just bring that road. If we look, there's a route over here. So what I want to do... Space already occupied. Oh yes, it's because there... It won't let me do anything too steep through there. Let's do it this way instead then. Do that. Just looks a little bit better. Now this will eventually obviously be another larger road. What I'm looking at is there and then eventually with a view to moving down over there. So we'll do that. And we've got two choices. Then we can build over here, up here, or down here. And I'm actually going for down here. It spreads everything out a bit more. But I'm quite happy with that. And what I'm going to do is put a road like that. I'm going to make this little junction slightly more interesting if I can. I'm just going to in there, and this one here will go like that. Again, the editor's decision is final. It just makes the entrance a little bit more interesting. I can put something in there. What have we got? Little statues or anything that could put in there? Pull that in. A little bit out of place, but I don't care. I think that works. And over here, we're going to have this, which you can go all the way over like this. And nodes. This is what I mean sometimes about things don't quite go to the terrain. So we'll do that. Look, so we've got a hill going that way. Like so. So what I don't want is long roads going this way, but I can have roads going horizontally. So again, this will have its own little shopping area. Let's come. Say I don't want roads going horizontally, that's just what I'm doing. Although I'm not planning on building anything particularly along those. So I'm going to come down here. The front row is going to be 6. And behind that it's going to be 5. Put a couple of those in. And these are going to be the terrace style housing. As you can see, the roads, it slopes a bit down towards the this area. And we've got down here. Yeah, down here the terracing has dropped off, so what I'm going to do now is this way. And the reason for going this way down here is just to break it up a bit, really. They may become longer eventually, we'll see. And I do want some space for parkland. Parkland would be best down here, I think. Basically because, again, we've got this slight sloping effect. Right, water pipes. I'm going to do along the main road first. The nearest place to get water from is up there. Which is actually what I'm going to do. This road may eventually come up here or into this sort of area. We are going to bring power lines, which again are going to be horrendously expensive and it's going to stop me from doing what I want to do for a while. And they're going to come in up here like this and say can't afford, can't afford, can't afford. So that'll have to wait for a sec. So I'm going to let the game run for a little while I build up some money. While we're doing that, how is commercial zoning? It says we have demand. We have some that's come up over here. We don't have much. We do have a little bit. Right. So, what I'm going to do... we have some smaller roads in here somewhere. Which is what I'm after. These little 1U alleyways don't seem to have a gravel version. I thought I had a gravel version of that. Apparently not. Oh, never mind. Right. So despite me saying I don't like having T-junctions, I'm putting one in. But I'm only putting one in so that I have got somewhere to put another shop like that. So that should grow in and that'll look reasonable. How are we doing in terms of money for building my power line for down here? Now, one thing that's just occurred to me, I've got these, so I'm not using this block service thing. The whole point behind these is if you're building little islands somewhere, you can just put a small cube in and it'll bring services in. Got this electrical substation. It's quite cheap, doesn't produce much power. It looks quite good. You think, well, why not use that? The problem with the game is you only have one power grid. Now, if I put another little grid down here, up here the electrical availability, well, this is your total and your usage is your total. You can end up with houses down here that don't have any power because their little supply is out, but up here you're saying, oh, you've got loads, and I just find it confusing, so I don't do it. As simple as that. Right, this here is more high street, so I'm going to put some more high streety bits in. But I shall do that and see what grows. behind the high street we are going to have a bit more housing going both sides, and housing is a high demand, so I can put that in straight away. Not going to put them there, I might put something else there. Although what I am going to do actually before I go any further with this is this whole area here is going to be UK style as well, I think. Why not? All of this here into UK style. Ivy District. Save, we'll have that. That'll probably get rid of a chunk of stuff that's just spawned in, but I'm not too bothered. And what we're now going to do is go back into here, go back into that, go back into that, and go UK. And I want 1 by 2 because I'm going in for the high density version again. Brick terrace, and literally I'm going to go in and do this. So I'm going to zone these in, and I will be back in a mo. So, right, that's Ivy District. A whole load of new people wanting to come in. Have a look and see how the roads are coping. Yeah, reasonable. This road, of course, will eventually be turned into the slightly faster moving version. Short term, I don't think it needs it. What I do want to do, however, is add a few more bits and pieces here. Now, this is quite steep, so I've got to be careful how things are added now. Schools and stuff are going to come down here. But I want something a bit different up here, so what I'm going to do... let's get rid of that, get rid of that. So out commercial, where is it? That one. Too expensive. Yes, well, I'm not doing that for a while then. I was going to put an Aldi in there and put a little car park and things next to it, but can't afford that, so I'm not going to. Again, let's have a little look at the traffic. So we now have a bit of a wave of people moving in. You see, we're busier, but even with a wave of new arrivals, it's not actually that much. I mean, follow this down here. Go and have a little look. We go past that, out here, down the dirt road, all the hills there. Turn left at the statue. Who's that a statue of? I don't know, some posh bloke on a horse. Probably got famous for killing people. That seems to be what happens with people on horses. Right, so we're going to need a school. Don't quite have the money for the school yet, but that's the next area down here to continue with. Again, suggestions on names more than welcome. I'm going to leave this episode around here. So before we do, let's just press the right button and see what we've got. So over here we have this little bit. We've got the cricket ground. A fair few people driving around there. I mean, the houses are a bit of a hodgepodge. These areas may get changed to the UK style, but I'll have to do it little bit by little bit. So yeah, just looking around. Needs a bit more detailing work doing. That's probably going to be the subject of the next one. I think we will do some upgrade that little Ivy District bit, and then it'll be right. We're going to pause on city growth for a while and focus more on what can we do to make this whole area look a little bit better. Get to try out some new skills. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. As usual, subscriptions, likes, comments, shares, all that good stuff that YouTube likes. More than appreciated. And I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.